Arsenal just won the Premier League, and no matter your football allegiances, this is bad news for almost every single engaged FPL manager, and I'm going to explain why. Welcome to the last video of FPL 2025-26. Make sure you like and subscribe, and let's get right into it. Before we get into why things are more complicated, we're going to talk about my game week, and I had a great game week. Despite Saka getting a really big haul and being 90% effective ownership at my rank, absolutely killing my big green arrow, I still have a big green arrow, it's just not gigantic anymore. Thanks to triple Arsenal defense doing really well for me. Captaining Gabriel wasn't great, but at the end of the day, it was a safe 6 points, so I can't really complain too much. I think it was still the right decision. It just didn't end up going so well. I was close to captaining Bruno, but if you saw his first assist, he was quite lucky to get 9 points. So yeah, it's one of them things. It could have gone right, it could have gone wrong. He was very close to bonus points, but lost it in the last 5 minutes of the game. Either way, since I used my wildcard and I had triple Arsenal defense, I have had 4 clean sheets in 4 game weeks. I could not be happier with these guys. They have kept my head afloat. And I sit just outside of the top 10k right now. I sit 13k overall, meaning the top 10k dream is still on. And I'm hoping I can get there. But the problem is Man City and Arsenal. I have 3 from Arsenal and 3 from Man City, which normally is great. You know, Arsenal defense on amazing form, Shirky not so much, and Haaland and O'Reilly are basic standard players that everyone owns. The issue is, both of these teams have absolutely nothing to play for anymore. They're not going to try. Both teams may just field the B team because it's the last game of the season. It's not looking good. These guys have no motivation to get any points whatsoever. So yeah, apart from Arsenal and Aston Villa, there were a lot of stinkers in the team, but that's fine because I had Ollie Watkins and Morgan Rogers. When they played on the Friday evening, they set me up for success. I was unbelievably happy, right? I did not expect these guys to get so many points. Right, home to Liverpool, by no means a bad fixture. I did debate selling Rogers for Dewsbury Hall, but I said, you know what? Rogers is just as good to own this game week despite recent form. And it turns out he was a lot better to own this week. And that's another reason why triple Arsenal defense was so good. It blocked me out from bringing in Saka and Gyökeres. Imagine I sold Rogers or Watkins, guys, I would be so distraught, devastated. But instead, I'm over the moon with this game week and I'm hoping to move on to the top 10k by game week 38, but it's going to be quite tough. Anyway, we are going to look at the teams that still have something to play for in game week 38, because those are the teams you guys are going to want to target players from. And as you can see, we do not have a great selection. To be fair though, West Ham and Spurs, they both have so much on the line and they both have good fixtures. So players from these teams could be very good. It's mainly going to be West Ham and Spurs players that you want to target. Screw everyone else, you know, fair enough. Sunderland playing home to an off-form Chelsea is quite good. Chelsea playing away to an off-form Sunderland could also be quite decent. For a moment, it was looking like Liverpool would have something to play for because Bournemouth were winning right up until the end. Unlucky for Bournemouth, they did concede a goal and they would need to win like 10-0 to make Liverpool actually sweat about losing their Champions League spot. So Liverpool home to Brentford isn't really a game to look at anymore. It's quite irrelevant. But on the flip side, Brentford need a win. And yeah, away to Liverpool. Guys, it's not easy. But Liverpool don't really care about the result of that game. And they're not on good form either. So you get hungry players like Igor Thiago in that fixture. Even though it's a red fixture on paper, he could come away with a few points. 2 other notable teams, Brighton and Bournemouth. Both, you know, mid-table teams that are on amazing form and they're pushing for Europe this season. Both teams have really good FPL assets, but both of them have a fairly mediocre fixture. So while these players are really good to target, you know, off the top of my head, we have Hindlewood, Van Heck, Tavernier, Krupi Jr. They don't have easy games like the West Ham and Spurs players. So going into my team, I want to target players from these teams. I need to pick the best ones. I need a differential that's going to get double digits for me. And looking at the team, it's fairly obvious who I should sell. Now, I did talk about how my Arsenal players and City players aren't great this game week because they don't have much to play for. Even Harry Wilson, he was a sub last game week. He's not that good either. Bruno still has some sort of motivation because he wants to break the assist record. Watkins and Rogers, they have no motivation and they're playing away to Man City, so they're not really that good to own. I'd be looking to sell both of these players. But who do I bring in? This is the tough part, right? Looking at Watkins, we can choose between 2 forwards. In particular, we have Richarlison and Jared Bowen. The reason is these two are... Jared Bowen's been good all season and Richarlison's been a little better on recent form. Then you look at midfielders, you also have Somerville, but Spurs midfielders aren't that great. I mean, Tell scored a game week or two ago, but his underlying data isn't good. And as for Brighton and Bournemouth, you know, they've got Tavernier, they've got Hindlewood. But like I said, those games are a little tougher. So do I want to target players from those teams? It's difficult. I'm still, as of when I'm recording right now, a bit indecisive, but I do believe I am gradually leaning one way more than the other. For the midfielder position, I was leaning towards Somerville in my transfer tips video. I said if West Ham have a lot to play for, then Somerville might be the best cheap midfielder to target. But after seeing how West Ham fans react to his recent performances and his, recent points, underlying data not being that great, I'm gradually shifting away from that. I may not want to go to Somerville. And that only really leaves Tavernier and Hindlewood, maybe Dango Ouattara from Brentford, but like I said, away to Liverpool isn't the easiest fixture, which is why I'm not going to go there with the Brentford players. So with Rodgers, I believe I'm going to sell him for Hindlewood of Brighton. Now this guy's underlying data is ridiculous. In the last 5 game weeks, it's better than almost every single player in the Premier League. He's reliable for minutes, playing home to a Man United team that don't care much about the results. So I've put him as the #1 transfer target for me. It's not the deadline yet, and I am quite indecisive. I will post my team before the deadline so you guys can see the transfer I made. It will most likely be Hindlewood, but Tavernier is still a little on the cards, maybe even Somerville if I'm feeling really out there. As for the forward, it gets a lot harder. Once again, Thiago is a viable option, but away to Liverpool once again, it's not super easy, especially when you've got Bowen home to Leeds and Richarlison home to Everton. The question is, which one do I choose? Because the swing could be absolutely massive, Fair enough, they might both blank, but they could both get really big double-digit scores, or only one of them does, and that's what I'm scared about. I want to make the right choice. Now, Bowen has 5 assists in his last 6 games, no goals, and he's averaging 0.4 shots in the box per 90. That is not good, guys. That is terrible underlying data, but his expected assists and his actual output in terms of assists is very good. He creates a lot of big chances. And recently, in the last few games, he's blanked, which is fair enough. You've had some tough games. Away to Brentford, home to Arsenal, and away to Newcastle. I didn't expect many goals for West Ham at all. When they play an easy game home to Leeds, a Leeds team that don't really care about the result, we could see more from Jarrod Bowen. But the same goes for Richarlison. Like, Everton don't have much to play for either. Spurs have a lot more on the line. And Richarlison actually has goal threat because, with goal threat, it's better than assists. You get 4 points for a goal instead of 3 points. And the bonus point system really favours strikers who score goals instead of get assists. So who do I choose? Who is the better option? Last video, I said Jarrod Bowen was easily the best forward to target if the relegation battle was still going on in game week 38. But looking at how Bowen's form has been bad, and Richarlison just scored last game week, I'm wanting to change my mind as well. If you asked me a few days ago, it would be Bowen and Somerville. But now, I'm actually leaning more towards Richarlison plus Hindlewood. I believe picking the better players with better underlying data could be better in this scenario. I don't want to take too many risks because all these players I'm looking to buy are all differential anyway. If they get points, they're going to give me some big green arrows. Now, what you see on the screen right now is how my team should look for the final game week of the season, but make sure you keep an eye out for my YouTube posts and my Twitter because I will post my final team there before the deadline. The big question is right now, who do you captain? As you can see right now, I've got the armband on Richarlison, and at no point did I think this season the captain's armband would be on Richarlison in my FPL team. That is just ridiculous. I don't know what I'm doing, but at the end of the day, the Arsenal players don't care, the City players don't care. Bruno, yeah, he wants the assist record, but he's playing away to a team that's fighting for European football. Hindlewood, home to Man United just isn't the best fixture, and he's cheap for a reason. His point potential isn't like double-digit high. I mean, he gets the underlying data, but he's not Cristiano Ronaldo. Welbeck's been on bad form. The only player I can think of is Richarlison, which is crazy to me, guys. I do not want to be relying on Richarlison captain to get myself into the top 10k, but I believe it is the best thing available for me right now. So hopefully he can be what gets me over the finish line into the top 10k. Only time will tell. As for Wilson, I've not really talked about him much. I don't have a lot of hope for him. Like, there's a lot of players in this team I would love to change. In fact, probably around 8 of them aren't really worth being here anymore, but I'm stuck with them. And to be fair, it's a similar situation for almost everyone else, so I'm not too mad, We're all in the same boat, I hope, because if I'm the only one in this boat, I'm drowning by myself. Anyway, guys, that is it from me. If you've been watching my channel at all this season, you are greatly appreciated. This is the last one for the 25-26 season, and I will see you all in the next FPL season.